about inverse sine, and we graphed it, and then we restricted it so that we made it a function, and all that fun stuff. Today, what I'd like to do is I would like to do 2 slides on the inverse cosine, and then I want to turn you loose on the golden packet that you have, or that you picked up when you walked in today. Okay? And then you will develop the inverse tangent function over the weekend, in the remaining part of class, and then over the weekend. And that gold packet is due on Tuesday when you come into your 4-mod class. Okay? So that packet that you picked up when you came in today, yep, that's due on Tuesday. Okay? And we'll talk about that when I'm done with my 2 slides. Okay? So let's talk cosine, regular old cosine. Okay? So regular cosine has a domain of what? Got a domain of all real numbers. I can put any x value into cosine, and it's going to give me a value. Okay? So I can put any angle in, it gives me a value. Okay? What's the range? What are the range of those values that it gives me? -1 to +1. Okay? Biggest it can get is +1. Smallest it can get is -1. Okay? Not setting the world on fire. Okay? Let's graph this bad boy. Cosine. Where does regular cosine start? Low, middle, or high? High. Then as we go to pi over 2, cosine goes down to 0, the middle. Yep. Okay, and then it goes down to at pi, the low. Yep, and then back up and back up. So it looks kind of like this. Right? Okay. Now, I'm going to do some fanciness here. If I go the other way, it looks like that. Right? Yeah. So we can fill in our values, our horizontal values over here. That would be -2 pi. Over here, that would be -3 pi over 2. Be -pi, -pi over 2, 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and dos pi's. And then we said it goes up all the way to +1, all the way down to -1. Love it. Okay? Let's flip it on its side. Let's invert that thing. Okay? So if I inverse cosine, refresh my memory, how do we inverse stuff?
Switch X and Y.
Switch the x and the y. So my x's on regular cosine become the y's on inverse cosine. My y's on regular become x's on the other one. So I'm going to see if I can leave it right there because I want to go first lap. Okay? So it's going to start, so it started, regular cosine was at the point 0, +1. Correct? So then that means that regular, or inverse cosine, I should say, is going to start at, it was paste, there it is. Oops, one too many. Come on, come back to me. Is going to start at, that's a little off, 1, 0. And go through like that. Agree? If I go the negative route, it's going to go like that.
Now we can put some labels on here. So this goes out to -1. This goes out to +1. This is 0, pi over 2, pi over 2, 2 pi. Extend that out a little bit. Negative pi over 2, negative pi, negative thrice pi over 2, and negative dose pi. Yes? Again, we run into the same issue we had yesterday. And that issue is the fact that it's not a function. Okay? So to make it be a function that we can find values, we need to look at one or specific area on that curve that we can get every value from -1 all the way up to +1. And so if I'm looking at this, I'm going to look to be the easiest for me. And so I'm going to look at that section of the graph from -1 to +1. Vertically, it would go from 0 up to pi. And that hits every part of, or every value from -1 to +1. Okay? So, my domain here on my restricted range, or though the domain is still -1 to +1, hitting all those values, but my restricted range now goes from 0 to pi. Inverse cosine, or arc cosine if you will, finds angles, just like inverse sine and arc sine found angles yesterday. Where on the unit circle are the angles 0 to pi? Where are those angles 0 to pi on the unit circle? So top half? Yep. So we're looking here at just the top half of the unit circle. Which is nice because notice no negative. We don't have to worry about those negative angles like with sine. Okay? And we hit every value. So it's straight up positive angles. Yeah, buddy. Boom. Boom goes the dynamite. Okay? So, what I would like you to now work on, and you can work on it collaboratively at your tables if you want. I'm totally okay with that. The top half of the first page is all about what we just talked about, and then finding actual values of arc, cosine, arc, or inverse cosine. Then, with number 2, Roman numeral 2, that's where we start developing the inverse tangent.